Hello everyone, Omnify here. In this video, I will explain how and why the sacrifice of Lily Potter was able to protect Harry. The killing curse of Lord Voldemort had backfired on a baby Harry. But how and why? Okay, how did her sacrifice, how did it do this? And as Voldemort had described as he finally regained his body in the Goblet of Fire in the scene in the graveyard, he called it old magic, right? So the answer is very simple, actually. And it goes all the way back to Snape. So after he had finished his schooling at Hogwarts, Snape joined the ranks of the Death Eaters, right? He was always into the dark arts and he was in Slytherin and all that. So he joins the ranks of the Death Eaters. And James and Lily joined the ranks of the Order of the Phoenix in the first go around during the first Wizarding War, before Harry is even born. So Dumbledore, he goes to the Hog's Head Inn to do an interview. He's interviewing Trelawney. Her first name is Sybil. Okay, so Professor Trelawney, who ends up as the professor of divination at Hogwarts, okay, she was trying to get a job as a teacher, and then in the middle of their interview, she snaps into a trance and says a prophecy, right? Like, it's the prophecy of Harry and Voldemort. You're able to find it online, but it says, essentially, it says a baby who is going to be born at the end of July, to parents who have thrice defied the Dark Lord. The baby of those parents is going to be the downfall of Lord Voldemort, the Dark Lord, right? And Snape, who was a Death Eater of the time, he was eavesdropping at the door, but Aberforth, who is the owner of the Hogshead Inn, and more importantly, the brother of Dumbledore in secret, only older people who were around back then are aware of that, but he catches Snape, and Snape only heard half the prophecy, okay, and he relays the information to Voldemort, the part where to those who have thrice defied him. Voldemort comes to a decision. It has to mean Harry's parents, James and Lily, because at this point Harry is he's born, okay, or he's about to be born, okay. So Voldemort, he makes up his mind. He's like, okay, well, I guess he has to kill the Potters, right? But Snape, and spoiler alert if you haven't read Harry Potter or ever seen it, but spoiler alert, big spoiler alert, Snape loves Harry's mother. Snape loves, he loves Lily Potter, okay? And he basically told Voldemort to spare her life, okay? So when Voldemort goes to attack the Potters, all right, even though James Potter tried to hold him off, and James Potter compared to the power level of Voldemort is not even a comparison, okay? So James Potter has sacrificed his life, but his sacrifice it didn't have the same effect of Lily's, because when Voldemort approached he told her to stand aside and gave her the option to live. Out of his respect, I guess, he had for Snape as a Death Eater, as a wizard, as a follower of his, he told her to stand aside and that she didn't have to die. But she refused to stand aside and she was murdered, okay? But because she chose to die and could have easily walked away, it had invoked an enchantment on Harry, old magic, to where, the spell had backfired on Voldemort, the Avada Kedavra spell. That's why Harry was able to survive as a baby, because his mother chose to die, even though she could have lived. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next few uploads, I'll be changing up the topic a little. I've made a lot of Harry Potter videos as of late. I want to touch on other subjects, other topics. So stay tuned for the next one.